You're listening to Sorry for Asking.
Sorry for asking. I'm Cole Connor.
And I'm Adam Ramzi. This is where we talk shop, ask questions,
Tell stories and laugh some laughs about being creators.
as well as consumers of adult content we love watching too.
We certainly do. We also discuss the impact adult films have had on us
On our guests.
and on the LGBTQ community.
So strap on and strap in.
And here we go.
Hello.
What's up, everyone?
Hi, welcome back to Sorry for Asking.
He's Adam Ramzi.
And that's Cole Connor
Yes.
right there. You can see my finger right there. Yes. Hi, Cole.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Welcome back, everyone, to this here, the 16th episode of our third season of this little podcast here that we do. And today we made the very controversial decision to have a returning guest, our first ever guest returning, who is also a performer. Do you want to introduce
Drew
our sexy?
Valentino.
Hi, Drew. It's good to have you here in studio and not on a glitchy ass Zoom episode.
Yeah. Famously known for his love for pits.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Right. We also famously love his pits. How you doing today, Drew?
I'm great. I'm really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Living
for...
life. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. You were actually our first... you were our first guest on the podcast who is a performer, and now our first to return.
And you had me back.
We had you back. We just, we just had so much fun with you that
didn't
first
get enough of
time.
me
I
till-
still
For
can't.
a year.
It took a while. It took a while for Adam to convince me.
It wasn't that hard. Well, I brushed up on the episode before this one, and that was actually 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell. I don't even remember what we talked about.
Well, we talked about your first 2 years in the industry, and at that point, you told us about how you were a pandemic porn star, how you kind of got into content creation, and how you jumped into the studio scene when Cole got you involved in Raging Stallion stuff.
Yes, that's true.
So now 2 years have passed. How do you feel about studio stuff now?
Wow. Oh my God.
Because you were so enthusiastic that first episode.
I am very not that.
Wow, I want to hear. I want to hear all about it. we're jumping right in.
So like I still love doing porn, but now that I've been doing, and most of us have been doing it for 4 years, and I just am like, sure, you want to stick a dick in my ass and record it? Give me some money, go for it. Like I just don't. Well, I'm not exclusive with Falcon and Raging Stallion anymore, so
No, hardly anyone is.
right, that's right. That's true. Nobody is.
Nobody is.
No, so
Is that true?
Yeah.
No, well,
They're done with exclusives.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
not the way that we like. Not the
different.
way that our class was.
our class
Class of 2021, 22. That's
fall
funny.
2021.
we graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing is like people are like, oh no, I'm sorry, like you're not exclusive anymore. It's like it's not like they dropped me and then replaced me with some
Yeah. It's just
hotter, pittier, funnier 23-year-old tatted guy. It's just like they were like, oh, we're not doing that anymore.
they were just like,
Okay.
oh,
Well, as long as you drop everybody, I'm okay with it.
Were you a little bummed about it?
I mean, I was a little bummed about it, but I was also not surprised. I mean, I was an exclusive with them for 2 years. That's more than what I could have asked for. Like that's just the industry, right? I was not upset.
Okay.
Obviously, who wouldn't want to keep a contract going longer? But it was just kind of like, and the other thing is like, if it didn't end that year, it was going to end the next year. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Have you worked with other studios
I
as a
have not.
result?
I have
oh,
not.
wow. So
And that's-
Raging Stallion is the only studio you've worked with.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
well, like Falcon, Naked Soul.
Yeah,
Sure.
the
Yes.
whole
The whole
umbrella.
Falcon umbrella. Yeah.
So there's a reason for that. So, well, for one, like we just said, doing a porn for 4 years and OnlyFans included. When I was dropped, and then now I'm on my own. I could work with any other studio. It would still take some work on my part to reach out to people and ask around and get my name out there. And I decided, you know what? I'm just not going to do that yet. Take a little breather. Because then in April, May, a lot of us went to the European Grabbies. I filmed a ton. I had months and months of logged content for OnlyFans.
Okay.
So I basically took this whole summer off. I filmed maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 times since, and it was very like, because it was somebody I really just want to have sex with, and then it was just like, oh yeah, sure, we could record it. Yeah. but I've been like thinking intentionally, taking a break from OnlyFans, taking a break from studio porn, and this is actually, I don't know when this will be released, but this is actually information that I have not really shared publicly yet, but I'm planning to move. I think I've told you guys maybe. I'm planning to move to Madrid, and I'm planning that for the fall. So my thought is, why bother going through all this work, ask for connections to work with this studio, that studio, where it's like, it would literally, I probably would have accomplished maybe 2 scenes during this time, and then I'm going to Madrid, and I have connections over there. I've worked with Alter Sin, I've worked with a few people over there, and even Falcon and Raging Stallion, they have people over there that could get me in some scenes. So my thought is, let me take a break, focus on myself in a number of ways, my personal life, and just take a break from porn, and focus on my move to Spain, and then pick back up again. So,
can you explain to me and our listeners who Alter Sin is? I've heard this name before, but I don't know who they are.
The director, right?
Yeah, he's a director. Yeah, he's a very well-known director that lives. I'm pretty sure he lives in Spain.
Okay,
but I know that he is a director for lots of the European movies for a bunch of different studios, not just one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, why Madrid?
Well, there isn't really a lot of reason, to be honest.
Okay.
People are like, oh, how many times have you been there? I've been there once for about 4 days.
Yeah.
But that's the excitement to me. Like the excitement of like, let me just pack up all my things and go and see what this next year's like. Like that is part of the chase for me.
Yeah.
Like even when I was in New Jersey and I moved to Atlanta for 1 year, and that started with me saying, I want to move to a city that has a good gay population and like where I could like, wouldn't that be just crazy if I just got up and did it? And I did it and it was super fun. And then a year in, I was like, what if I moved to California? That'd be wild. And then it was like, that was all I could think about. And I planned it and I did it and it was so much fun. And that's what's made the last few years really fun. So then I got this idea about Europe vaguely, but then, I was talking to my one friend in Chicago, and I was like, hey, I'm in Chicago. He's like, oh no, I moved to Madrid. I'm like, what? What? And I thought that was so cool and inspiring, but it also made me realize, like, wait a second, I have a friend in Madrid. So yeah. Like then when we went to the European Grabbies, I was talking to this one and that one, and Sir Peter, where do you live again, Sir Peter? Oh, I live in Madrid. It's like I knew he lived in Spain,
right?
But Alan King lives in Madrid.
Okay.
Like there was a
whole bunch.
There's like a bunch
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. Not only so I have at least 1 or 2 close friends that I would like hang out with.
Yeah.
But at least 4 or 5 others that like maybe I would may or may not end up hanging out with them, but I've worked with them. I have their number. We know each other. Where I'm not alone. You know what I mean? So then that was the first like aha moment of like, oh, I could actually pull this off, and then
and like have community there,
right, and then I went home and I told my dad, and I was like, wouldn't that be crazy if I moved to Europe? And he's like, that'd be so cool. And that was like, okay, doing it. He didn't say no. Not that my dad would say yes or no, but I'm just saying like I gauged his reaction, and that was like okay, I'm going to do this.
Was his approval important to you?
I mean, he approves me getting fucked in the ass on camera. So, they're
Thanks, Dad.
supportive of me doing porn. So that was another realization. I'm like, wait, I'm so worried about my parents, their opinion about me moving to Europe. I literally do porn. And they're like, that is so cool. We're proud of you.
Oh,
so like,
that's wonderful.
Right. So as if they're going to be like, you're going to go to Europe? Like,
yeah.
Like, just not a reality. So.
I hate moving though.
I mean,
And that scares the shit out of me to like think about moving to.
Well, I would imagine moving
just across the country.
I would imagine moving to another country would mean you would move with less stuff. You're not going to like move your couch and
that
bed.
is also
and,
part of the excitement.
Yeah.
And apparently in Europe, a lot of the apartments it's more normalized that they do fully furnished apartments. So I'm literally going to sell my car, sell a bunch of shit, get rid of stuff, and just move into a furnished apartment and start fresh.
And it's cheaper there.
It's way cheaper there. Yeah.
And I'm cracking up because you just said remind me. I was at Bears in Space at Akbar on Sunday, and I was dancing with some very cute boy, and we were dancing, and I was telling him about my plan. Now, every single person that I've shared this plan with is like, "That's so awesome! That's so amazing! Congrats!" And I tell him this, and he goes, "You're not going to have a good time in Spain. You think you're going to have a good time there?" I'm like, "What? Like, what?
You're like, why wouldn't I?
He goes, "You really think you're going to have a good time?"
Did he give you a reason?
No.
Okay, because I have heard some people say like, because like I know a lot of people who have moved to Spain. I know some people who want to move to Spain, and generally people are like, yeah, Spain is an amazing place. It's affordable. It's like this, but like some people are like, it's not this socialist utopia that you think it's going to be. All countries, even in Europe, have their own issues. So, but I don't know. I mean, I guess you'll know when you get there.
Yeah, that's true. And I think his point was that as a gay man, it's already hard. It can feel very isolated. You can feel very isolated and wherever you are. And then now there's this language barrier issue.
Yeah, because you don't speak it.
I don't. But
Duolingo.
I've been watching tons and tons and tons of TV and movies and podcasts in Spanish, and my mom speaks Spanish, so that's super helpful. And I've been learning a lot.
Yeah,
and,
if you can practice with people, then you can learn a language.
Living there will make it different for sure.
Exactly. I feel very confident in my ability to learn Spanish. I think that if anybody could, it would be me because I have a very addictive personality, and now I like fixate on things. And I've watched an embarrassing amount of Spanish TVs and movies in the last 3 months. Like I'm talking about hours a day of just.
Are you able to start understanding?
I understand all of it.
Oh wow!
I read the first two. This is my proudest achievement in life, really.
Oh
I
my
read
God.
the first two Harry Potters in Spanish.
Wow!
And now I'm on the third. I have to translate. I'm using it on the Kindle, so I have to. Yeah, you can just hold down a word and translate it.
Oh.
And I'm translating a lot, but the amount of Spanish that you need to know to still make it through 2.5 books of Harry Potter is still a lot,
Yeah.
And the more I read, it's just easier and easier, and yeah.
I don't think we'll get. I'm going to get back to Spain, but I don't think in our first episode we really got into your home life. Did you grow up in Jersey?
I grew up in New Jersey. Yeah, I was in New Jersey my whole life. I have a very big Italian family that is all in the same like 40-minute bubble of New Jersey, and I liked it there. But
Is it crass that I called it Jersey? I apologize.
I didn't even notice. So no.
Okay, all right. I mean, is that like
I
something?
thought you said New Jersey.
I said Jersey, but like it's kind of like people who live in San Francisco hate when non-San Franciscans
I
call
never
it
even
Frisco.
thought of it. No,
Oh,
And nobody hates calling it
can
Jersey.
call it Frisco.
I've never
No.
heard anybody call it.
I've never heard it.
It's like an old school thing.
Nobody
San-
does that.
But do New Jerseyans hate when people call it Jersey?
No.
Okay.
Nobody cares about that.
Okay.
I will say that the amount of times that I have introduced myself at a party or in a social gathering and people say, "Where are you from?" This is always the conversation at any circuit party, and they're expecting you to say like New York or LA or Chicago or and when I say Jersey, there is always an offensive pause where they're like, "Jersey?"
Really?
and like they always have the same reaction because their only conception of people from New Jersey is from MTV. So like they just start like barking stereotypes. I don't care, but
Right.
And I always think of this one time I went to a party and exactly this conversation happened where it was like, "Oh, where are you from?" I said Jersey, and this one guy that was kind of fucked up on the couch just goes, "Garbage," which I guess is from like
That's an
Or Real Housewives?
or Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just, "Garbage."
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well,
So it sounds like you had some pretty supportive parents.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. My parents are super supportive. They have been amazing since when I came out. When I was, I don't know, like 22 or something.
Okay.
And then I was equally nervous to come out to them about the porn and like,
Yeah.
But they've been great. They've been great.
How long did it take you to tell them about doing porn since like moment when you started?
Well, when I started, it was just OnlyFans, just Twitter and toys and stuff. So there's no reason to tell your parents that you're fucking sitting on a dildo. But like, Mom, I started an OnlyFans. But I'd say a year and a half, probably. Okay, a year into doing OnlyFans, I started with Falcon, and then when I started with Falcon in October, but then it didn't start to get released until January, and then it was like I was announced as their exclusive, and all these things were being like all the movies I've been recording for 4 months are starting to be released, and then it started to be like, and then I went on the Atlantis cruise, and like people knew me from porn, and then I came off the Atlantis cruise and was like thinking like I felt a lot of guilt on the Atlantis cruise for whatever reason, and when I came off the Atlantis cruise, it was thinking like there's no reason to feel guilty, but I do just need to talk to my parents, and that's what I did, and it was great.
Yeah, I had the same thing because I'd been filming for a while. And I just felt this like distance between me and my parents, like making small talk whenever we would talk since doing porn. I felt that distance that I hadn't felt since before I told them I was gay. And I was like, I don't want to do that again. So,
well, can I ask you both this question? Did this guilt come about? And did it have to do with the fact that you were starting to get recognized for that kind of work, where you were like, okay, if people in public are starting to recognize me, like, why am I keeping this from people who are super close to me, my family
for
members?
Me, yes. That was the concern. It was just like I said, when you start an OnlyFans or have a Twitter, your parents don't. It's
a little more private,
that. Yeah. But then I started to realize that people are now have a perception of my identity linked with porn publicly, and that means that anybody could find out. And like when I told my parents, I have a younger sister who is, I don't even have, I should know this, but she's like 10 years younger than me, maybe a little less. And she knew. Her friends all knew. Her friends followed me on Instagram, and like she just hid that. It was just like it's just easy for them to find out, and that was part of the concern.
I didn't feel guilt about it. It wasn't like a guilty thing. It was like I wanted to tell them because it was something I felt good about.
Right.
And it was like, I was like, this is going well. I want to like share that. I want to tell them about something that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I love that it was being recognized as Drew Valentino and not the fact that you were doing front-facing piggyback rides with your dick in Eddie's mouth while on the dance floor at the Atlantis cruise.
Yeah, well, they might have seen that too. No, I'm just kidding. They probably not.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you got to find it somewhere. There's this hilarious video of you on a dance floor. Right? Aren't you sitting on his shoulders?
Because he and I have so many party tricks. But yes, the main one is that he will start to suck my dick on the dance floor, and then he puts his arms underneath my legs and he lifts me up onto his shoulders while I'm facing him, and I'm basically fucking his mouth and dancing and like doing this while he's holding me and dancing. And it's something that I don't know why we invented that, but like I don't know
so
why
funny.
that
Do you have a name for it?
I don't think we do. Well, this was around the time when one of those videos was surfacing. It was around the time when Throat Goat was very popular, so we were referring to it as that. But that name's already taken. It's like
you mean like the Kim Petras song? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
But we have done that at least 12 times, 12 to 15 times, and maybe half of them have been recorded and made their way around the internet. But like we did that at so many places, and people love it, and that's why we keep doing it.
I mean, it's hilarious.
It's so fun.
But to me, it's like I always kept thinking like, damn, Eddie's throat must be very tense because you are lengthy down there, and if you're sitting on his shoulders, that means he's pretty.
We check in with you, so then we know because
you pull his head off, and you're like, "How you doing down there?"
So what's so funny is we've done it so many times that there really was a progression of us getting better at it, and particularly for filming it.
Oh my God!
Because like I don't know, we just discovered little things along the way. there was a period of time where the first few, even though it was fun and everybody like was involved, like I was kind of scared I'd fall. So I'm just like death gripping his head, and it was just not that visually pleasing.
Right.
And we figured out a way for me to sit where I can kind of sit back comfortably without feeling like I'm going to fall.
Oh.
And then it made it much more like everything just more like look better. And then like, I don't know, we figured out little things little by little that
great.
it evolved to what it has become.
It's like when a dick is down my throat all the way, I can't breathe. It like cuts off. Like I can't even breathe through my nose.
Yeah.
And your dick is like.
I don't think he breathes. I don't think
Talent.
that he breathes
At
until
all.
we're done.
He's a fish.
Yeah. But he works it though. He'll be like he's not even breathing.
What are some of your other tricks with Eddie?
Oh,
We're talking about Eddie the Fit, by the way. Is that what he goes by? Eddie Burke?
Eddie Burke.
Eddie
Yeah,
Burke,
Eddie
yes.
Burke. Eddie Burke.
Ginger superstar of gay porn.
I don't know. You know what? We have so many funny things on Twitter, just like us balancing our phones on our dicks and like a whole assortment of things. I don't know. That's the best one though.
You guys are great.
The shoulder.
We love it.
One.
Well, that's cool. You have supportive parents, and they are supporting you going to Spain.
I'm glad that me throwing Eddie makes you think of that.
Yes.
When you go to Spain, do you plan on doing comedy?
A great question.
That is a great question, and the answer is a solid no. Because
Really?
I mean, my options are. I can't do it in English, so I'd have to fully learn Spanish fluently, and then two, it's like then there's a cultural difference there where like I just feel like this just might be a year or two where I just take a step back from stand up.
Wow.
You know, but before getting back into stand up, because I started stand up a long time ago, but then I stopped for a while. And then in the year or two leading up to me getting back into stand up, I was still doing comedy, but just through lots and lots of skits. Like even before TikTok, I mean, TikTok becoming a thing made it more. But I was always making funny videos on Instagram, whether it was a skit I made up or actually me talking about something in my sex life that was just kind of funny. And I feel like that's where I originally got recognition for comedy in the first place. So my thought is I love doing that, and I haven't been doing that because all the last year or so my focus has been on the stand-up, and it's like I want to do more of that. So that's just the way I'm being optimistic about it. You know, I won't be able to do stand-up, which is unfortunate because that's something I like doing, but I will focus more on the reels and that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like a form of comedy in
It's
in and
fun.
of itself.
I love doing that.
And you can do some writing during your time in Spain.
For stand-up, you mean?
Yeah,
That's
like
true.
for like
That's
eventual
true. Yeah.
material.
You're absolutely right about that.
Maybe you could be a stand-up on a cruise.
Oh, that would work.
Oh.
That's true.
That's great. I like that. Are you thinking that your time in Spain is because like you're saying you've taken a break, right, from filming and stuff. Do you think being there will sort of reinvigorate your enjoyment of filming?
It definitely will, actually.
Okay.
Because it's a whole new pool of people to film with.
Yeah.
And just everything's different. And I did just have a 3-month break. So I think that I'll be really excited and just rejuvenated and just ready to go. So yeah. So watch out, Spain.
Wow,
I'm
that's
about to
very
come
exciting.
in you.
We've got someone we can visit in Madrid.
I know.
Yay. Madrid is a beautiful city. I went last year for a few days, and it really is very pretty.
I will say, and that's the other thing is you were saying, like, why Madrid? Like, because I've been to a few countries, a few places, I should say, in Europe, and I've been to Barcelona, and I've been to, a bunch of different places. I felt like Madrid was the most, like, damn, motherfucker, you were in another country. Barcelona, I love Barcelona, but the place that I visited in Barcelona did feel, it felt less obvious that I was in another country.
It's more cosmopolitan.
Right.
I guess,
It felt like it could be a really nice section of New York. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, whereas Madrid, it was like, you can't walk out, like, you can't walk outside with being like, I'm in Spain. You know what I mean? Whereas I didn't feel that way so much in other countries.
Right.
So I want that. You know.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What are you gonna miss most about Los Angeles? Like nothing. The traffic.
I don't want to say his name, but a butthole.
Oh. Is it your?
Yes.
Can we use that word?
Ex sub.
Ex sub. Oh, that's kind of sweet. I was gonna ask if it was okay to ask about that. Have you ever been in a relationship like that before?
I have not. No.
Can you talk about it a little bit?
So we are talking about being in a BDSM relationship. For those of you that don't know, but yeah, I was in a BDSM relationship for, I have no idea, months. But yeah, it was just kind of like a relationship based in sex, that it was where I was the dom, ironically, because anyway, but
why is that ironic?
Just because I'm
Excuse me.
because that's the thing is like somebody got messaged me on Grindr once and was like, "Are you dom?" And I said no, and they're like, "But I know that you're so and so's dom." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm dom to him. I'm not a dom person."
Sure.
Like,
Okay.
that's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, in the bedroom with him specifically, I'm very dom.
Yes.
But yeah, that's, I wouldn't.
Yeah, we
describe
create
me as
different
dom.
dynamics
Yeah,
with different
exactly.
people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had like some of the best sex I've ever had in my life, pretty much every day for a very, very long time. And we still do, even though we decided that we didn't want to be in that relationship anymore. We're still friends and we still have sex.
What was it that made you come to that decision, but then also still keep going?
Yeah, and also like what's changed?
Like, what's the
really?
difference?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot.
Just not a label?
No, you know what? I think that that dom sub relationship had an effect into our friendship that was just not necessary.
Interesting.
You know, and we realized that by ending that, we can still have sex and continue a friendship without this defined relationship where it's a little bit more casual and a little bit, you know, because we also now spend not as much time together and not as much sex. I mean, we still have sex a lot throughout the week, but we were spending a lot of time together and we were having sex multiple times a day, whereas like now we're having sex like every day or every other day.
Is it like an equal thing, like where you, like as a dom, you're, I don't know if more important is that like your needs come first because he's sub, and
yeah, exactly.
so
I mean,
like, yeah, I can see how that could kind of fuck with a
correct.
friendship,
Right.
where you're like, no, it only really matters what I want to do because you're my sub.
Right, because now if I do that, I'm just a selfish asshole.
Yeah.
so it's,
Yeah.
whereas before it was like,
Right.
It was expected.
You're like, oh,
right.
you like it.
Yeah. Right.
Would you say that now that the dynamic has changed, it also affects the how public it was? Is it less public? Because you guys were pretty public about the fact that you guys had that dynamic on like your Twitter accounts and stuff.
I think that the only difference is that we are not recording us having sex every day. So like there's still we still tweet and post and record stuff of us having sex. It's just because it's less often, it's being posted less often, which could be perceived a certain way.
And were you the only one that he would record with?
He has an OnlyFans and he was filming with other people as well, but sparingly.
Yeah, I feel like I only saw like stuff with you, but maybe just on your page. I don't know.
Mostly, yeah.
Is the basis of your relationship specifically of a sexual dynamic, or do you guys actually have, like, I would say, love for each other?
We definitely have love for each other.
Okay.
It's we definitely connect on more than just a physical level, and yeah, we care about each other a lot.
So he's who you're going to miss the most about
Well,
Los
I said
Angeles?
his butthole, but yeah.
His butthole. Well, probably first and foremost.
Well, no,
I'm sure
okay,
it's lovely.
okay. So yes, I will absolutely miss him, and
Yeah.
I do not want to discount that. But I really do mean that about his butthole, because for real, it's like sex with him is so good that I don't understand how anything will even come close somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm just being honest. Like I feel like throughout your life, you hit these moments of this really good sexual experience where
Yes.
you're like, whoa, that was so fucking hot and felt so fucking good. And then as you get older, you may get exposed to them more and more and more, or more bigger, higher peaks of like, wow, that was really good, you know? And
Maybe.
maybe. And for him, it was like we tripled it.
Right.
And then we tripled it every day for 2 years.
Wow.
So it's like, so I'm almost like, this is an honest like situation. I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, but
It's going to be hard to top.
That I talk. This is an honest situation that I talk about with my therapist, that I almost feel a little desensitized because I've had such heightened sexual experiences so many times that now it's to the point where if I meet some hot guy at the club, even if I think he's very hot and he's hitting on me, I love the excitement of like making out with him and trading Instagrams. But
Right.
it's just like, I am not motivated to go have mediocre sex with this guy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I'm desensitized, I think.
Well, I mean, I think that's why a lot of people stay in relationships, because I see it as like sex is like a language that we speak with each other. And so sometimes like that is the language you understand each other the best at. So if you guys are creating this conversation, this dynamic that is that amazing, it is hard to top. Sorry, I keep saying that. But
yeah,
like,
I understand.
But yeah, but I mean, but it's not impossible.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's what my therapist says.
Yeah.
He's talking about me.
Well,
you
yeah,
guys.
you've like created it in your head that it will be hard to top, so
Right.
you're not giving it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Madrid might change all of that.
Well, that's the thing.
I think it will.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a big shock to the system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to miss you here in LA a lot.
you.
We have to let you go now because Mr. Connor's got to run. But we love you. Thank you so much for coming back. And we will visit you in Madrid.
Please do.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
I'm sure. Is there a sign-up sheet?
Yeah, there's a whole ton of sniffies.
Is there anything you want to plug before we go? We have your X listed right up
This
there.
will be
Do
on
Valentino
September
XL.
11.
Yeah, this will be out in September.
Honestly, I still don't give a fuck anymore. You can Google me, sure.
Google him, you idiots.
I stopped caring 2 years ago.
Find him on Sniffies.
Right.
Yeah.
I have anonymous gangbang at Sniffies.
If you listened to your first episode, you were so differently wide-eyed and bushy-tailed about porn, and a lot more of a jokester.
Yeah.
You're such a different. Like, I feel like you've matured.
I've evolved.
You've evolved. Wonderful. Well, everybody listening at home, if you want, check out first season, episode 5, I believe, is with Mr. Valentino. And in the meantime, that's all I've got. What about you, Mr. Connor?
That's all I've got. I've got to go.
You got to go. All right.
gotta
Well,
go.
my name is Adam Ramzi.
I'm Cole Connor.
And this has been Sorry for Asking.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
This has been Sorry for Asking. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay sexy.